It's time. It's time to make a move. Were in school, and we took a class that was called church history. In dealing with church history, one of our professors says to us, what is the difference between the church a generation before us and the generation that is now? And no, everybody was answering, well, this and this, and what he said is the generation now talks about a move, but the generation then was willing to make a move. I've come to find out that we are ordinary people and we settle for anything. It is important to know that as ordinary as we are, we serve an extraordinary God. And that no matter how ordinary you are, God has some extraordinary things that he wants to do in his people's lives. You can say amen, because there are a few of us in here that can say, I don't know how God blessed an ordinary person like me. I don't know how it is that God looked amongst the whole earth and did something extraordinary for an ordinary person. Many of us have become complacent day after day, month after month, year after year, and we're tired of things being the way that they are. We want life to change, but I come to tell you this morning that if you want life to change, you got to come to the realization that it's time to make a move. That if you're not ready to move, that means you're going to settle for the mediocrity of life. Can I bless you real good when I tell you that none of God's children ought to settle for being mediocre? That there's still some things that God desires for you to have, but if you don't have the mindset to say that it's time to make a move, you can't do the same thing and expect different results. Y'all need to pray with me. It's time to make a move. It is time to make a move. See, because some folk my mother, we were coming up, we stayed in a shotgun house. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Anybody know what a shotgun house is? A shotgun house goes like this. It's a one-room brick building, and if you open the front door and the back door and you shoot a shotgun, the gunshot will go from the front to the back. Listen, we were in a two-bedroom with 6 children and 1 mama. But mama says, she was working part-time at a place called the Waffle House. Mama says, I'm better than this. She said, and my children deserve better than this. And my older sister says to her, so mama, what you gonna do? Mama said, it's time to make a move. Y'all got to get this. She said, if I got to pick up another job, if I got to work some extra hour, I just believe that God has more for me. And if I make one step, I just believe God will make another step. Is there anybody in here that can say, when I made up my mind to make a move, I didn't know where I was going, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I couldn't get what I needed where I was? It's time to make a move, which brings us to the embryo gospel of the book of Genesis, where you see a patriarch by the name of Abram. Abram is from the Ur of the Chaldeans. Let me show you what the Ur of Chaldeans is. The Ur of the Chaldeans is a people that are pagan worshipers. God, y'all missed that. Which means that no matter what your past is, if you get a mind to move, God will meet you right where you are. If it's in the drug house, if it's in the bootlegger's house, if it's at the Legion, if it's at the club, God will meet you right where you are, but you have to want to make a move. Watch this. God shows up, and he says to Abram, it's time to make a move. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying, Abram, not only are you bigger than the land you in, y'all better catch this, you bigger than the folk you hang around. You even bigger than some folk that got the same blood that's running in your veins. That's what he said. The first thing he says is, you got to leave geographically where you are. But if you don't have a mind to move, you're going to stay in your situation. If you don't have a mind to cut some folk off, cut some folk loose, just because they're your kin don't mean they're your caliber.